How fired up are you? Are you ready to run through that paper mache wall? Because I'm ready. I'm go time. I wish it was game week already. It is glorious to have college football back. And it's back. I declared it back officially this morning. I don't know if you're with me or not. We'll talk about this later. But please, please tell me you've heard the Jaden Daniels story. Jaden Daniels, former LSU player, has sent a cease and desist letter to LSU because they gave his jersey number back out. It was never retired. No. Never retired. It's my favorite story of the summer. So in between the Jaden Daniels cease and desist letter to LSU over his jersey number being handed out, and earlier this week, I don't know if it was Monday, Tuesday, I shared with you the ESPN insider intel talking about Marcel playing at quarterback. That has went wildfire. I mean, it's still going strong. College football is back. You know, in the off season, we have way. We rank. I think there was 10 different transfer portal rankings. And 4 of them were re-rankings of the same rankings. Just one word was changed in the sentence of the ranking. It's the off season. And we got through it. I think we got through it great this year. I'm not sure how you feel about it, but we survived. We had fun. But we are so back. People are fired up. People are saying the stupidest things. It is go time. We are done with the first full week of Aggie football fall camp. Week. 1 down, 2 to go. Is everybody with me? This is the Louie Bellina Show presented by CC Electric on a Thursday. We begin. It's new, but I got the 5 things you need to know, and normally I put them all together. But number 1 starts the maroon and white notebook. Aggie soccer 1-0. The Bobby Shuttleworth era began last night down in Houston. They took on Rice. I'm not sure where they started on the road. I do. School's not back in. Not sure the crowd they would get. Probably couldn't book anyone that would guarantee a sellout. And if you're going to bring someone back before everybody's back, you got to have a sellout. So probably didn't have the money to pull a draw like that. But that's not the point. 1-0. Career win, A&M 1. Aggie start 1-0. First official Aggie sport where the W and the L counts. Aggie Athletics 26-27 has begun. Last night, Aggie soccer went down, played Rice 2-1. They got the dub. Trinity Buchanan for the Aggie soccer team scored both goals. Game winner on a penalty kick in the 80th minute. Aggie soccer led 1-0 at the intermission, led 2-1 at the end of time. Aggie soccer starts the 26-27 season right. I don't know if it's like Groundhog Day. If you start with a win, you get 3 more national championships in the upcoming season. I don't know how it works, but I just know Aggie soccer got it done. The perfect start. That's the number 1 thing you need to know. 1-0 dub. I'm fired up. You have to excuse me. I'm all hopped up on Mountain Dew. Something else from the maroon and white notebook. I don't know if this is a need to know, but hey, probably should know. The Aggie Football Hour. You know, Mike Elko has his coach's show. It's called the Aggie Football Hour. Well, the first one will be on Wednesday, August 26th. And the Mike Elko Aggie Football Hour is Wednesday nights at 8. You can listen to the Mike Elko Aggie Football Hour Wednesday nights at 8 over on our partner, sister, brother, aunt, uncle station, News Talk 1620, 94.5, WTAW. Every Wednesday night at 8 starting on August 26th. Aggie Football Hour on News Talk 1620, 94.5, WTAW. And it starts Wednesday, August 26th. 6th. I've known this for a while, been waiting for the official announcement. It was announced yesterday. So make your plans. And look, Elko is a phenomenal, incredible speaker. And it doesn't matter if it's going to be his weekly media day, which Mondays, 1:30 here on the Louie Bellina Show, you and I together will listen to Mike Elko live from his weekly media day. Every game week, Monday, 1:30, he meets the media. Talk about the game that happened Saturday. Talk about the game that's upcoming Saturday. It's his weekly media day press conference. And it's live Mondays, 1:30 here on the Louie Bellina Show. So a heads up on that. But with Mike Elko, if you've ever listened to him speak anywhere, anytime, he always has something to say. He's a phenomenal speaker. And Mike Elko Media Day live 1:30, game weeks here on the Louie Bellina Show. The Aggie Football Hour, 8 p.m. Wednesdays, News Talk 1620, 94.5. Never miss the opportunity to listen to him speak. He's got a light touch, great humor. He talks ball. Got an intensity that's not screaming and raging. I love listening to Coach Elko speak. So there you go. Mark your calendars on that. But don't worry. I'll remind you, I promise. You want to know what the ultimate reminder tends to be of the Zone newsletter? If you're not familiar with it, give me a minute, 60 seconds here. There's new people in town. You know that. We have people. Yesterday when I did roll call, there were some people saying, hey, we've been listening since the first word with Louie Bellina. And I'm like, man, that's 24, 23, 25 years. Thank you. Could not be more appreciative. That's pretty awesome. But the Zone newsletter, Monday through Friday at 8 a.m., the Zone sends out an email newsletter. It is easy reading. If it takes you 2 minutes, you're a slow reader. Okay, maybe 3 at the most. And we put 6 posts into the Zone newsletter. 3 are the shows. Texags Live, Louie Bellina Show, Chip Howard Sports Talk. And in each one of those, our guest lineup, contest, giveaways. What do you need to know for that day? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. For each show. So you can always be informed. You can plan ahead. You can know when your favorite guest. You can know, is the ticket booth open thanks to Dixie Tire Company? Then the other 3 posts, okay, what are the contests? What are the events? What are the special programming service announcements? Things like that. So you can always be up to date. You can know, here's the Aggie Football Hour. When are the Astros playing? Like when high school football starts, what teams and what station? Things like you can always be up to date. You never have to guess. That is one of the greatest how do I know Zone newsletter. You sign up for it at zone1150.com. Easy stuff. Low effort sign up, quick read every morning, everything you need to know. Anyway, back to Maroon and White Notebook. I digressed. That's your heads up alert. Aggie Football Hour, Coach Elko Radio Show, Wednesday, August 26th. It begins. 8 o'clock's over on News Talk 1620, 94.5 WTAW. We continue. Maroon and White Notebook on the Louie Bellina Show on the Zone. Saturday down south. They didn't do a top 25 because we've already had 2 this week and it's only Thursday, right? What they did, SEC Power Rankings. I think Aggies will like theirs kind of, sort of. They put A&M at 4. They do have Oklahoma and Alabama at 6, 7. But they put LSU at 3. Is this going to be the 4th straight day that I have to state my LSU feelings, opinions? I can buy LSU as a top 20 team. I cannot buy LSU as a top 10 team. It seems foolish, no precedent for, overly generous to buy a team that has 47, 51 new players, first year head coach there, 2 new coordinators, as 3rd in the SEC. Now, A&M has 2 new coordinators, 4 new O-linemen, and a new front 7 on D. So 2 new lines of scrimmage, 2 new coordinators, and a line of scrimmage league. Let's go both ways, right? Right? So, I mean, there are question marks abound. Not going to lie to you. So, anyway, the jumping on LSU is really just Lane Kiffin gets more likes and views. Lane Kiffin is a lightning rod. I feel like the stability, who do you think has a higher football IQ, if I could throw that at you? Offense is sexier, so I think Kiffin gains more traction. Kiffin speaks more. Kiffin begs people to stare at him in his program. So Kiffin just gets more attention. So that's why I think LSU gets this much credit. They're getting way more credit and respect than they earn and their position deserves. Whereas Elko is kind of like just facts. He's already done it at A&M. He already shown the path and trail they're on. So even though they both have questions, Elko's already shown you answers. If you were putting your money and not just your mouth, you would have to put your money on Elko and A&M because he's doing it, as opposed to Kiffin, who's the first time he did it was Ole Miss, and he left. And how long did it take for him to finally break through one time at Ole Miss in his last year? So, I don't know. If I was, again, my money, so my life, it would be Elko, not Kiffin. With Elko, I see stability. With Kiffin, it's nonstop chaos, and I don't think you can build on chaos, not long term. And he has no long term. Isn't this his 5th, 6th, 20th job at this point? There's no long term with Kiffin. Oh, this is the final destination. He's finally went to one of those programs. USC is not. Tennessee is not. Really? That's what he was doing, was building towards no, that's a garbage take. So, sorry. Yeah, I'm not buying into those narratives. Somewhere down the road, 4 years from now, he's going to dump LSU for Bama and leave LSU in shambles too. That's how I view all this stuff. But sorry, Saturday down south, my bad. Top 10 rankings. Texas 1, Georgia 2. They're going to be some combination of 1, 2. And it is appropriate, correct. That's how it should be to start the year. They have LSU 3, A&M 4, Ole Miss 5, OU 6, Alabama 7. If you believe in John Mateer, you can put OU 3. If you don't buy John Mateer, OU is 6 or 7, to be fair. Ole Miss probably deserves a 3 spot with A&M 4. Ole Miss should be 3. A&M should be 4. And then at 5, OU, LSU, Bama, they can all slap each other for 5, for 5, 6, in my opinion. Man, we do need to do Louie Bellina Show rankings. You know what? I'm going to do that. I don't know about tomorrow. Monday. Give me 3 days to work on this. I'm going to do Louie Bellina Show power rankings, because if everyone else can do them, and in general, I sit here and just criticize them, maybe I should just shut up and do my own power rankings. So Monday, I'm not going to do a top 25 college football. I'm going to do my own SEC power rankings. I will release them Monday. Louie Bellina Show power rankings brought to you by the Louie Bellina Show. I'll get bored after about 8, so I don't know if I even care about 11 through. Because really, do I want to slap fight Arkansas, Mississippi State, Kentucky, Vanderbilt, Auburn even? Probably not. But I will have some version of SEC power rankings on Monday. I should probably have Brett Ciancia join me back here. By the way, speaking of Monday, which is in next week, the fall edition of the Louie Bellina Show begins. Very familiar names, some new friends, some new features, all begin next week. Just wanted to give you a heads up on that. I'm going to grab a timeout. When we come back, the maroon and white notebook, Aggie football, SEC football, it rolls on. The Louie Bellina Show from inside the Charles Schwab studio, Thursday on the Zone, 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
The Houston Astros play on the zone. Thanks to Kelly Bird Dozer.
The Louie Bellina Show. We're just starting. Louie Bellina Show on Thursday, presented by CC Electric, residential, commercial, and industrial services. It's what they do at CC Electric. We're in the maroon and white notebook. We're heading towards 11:35. We have our first Aggie football listening of the day. We do fall camp in their words. We listen into the players, coordinators, and of course Coach Elko. When they speak, we listen. Fall camp in their words. Marcel Reed, 11:35. And we're about to jump into a whole lot of Marcel Reed, by the way. ESPN.com. Nope, I lied. CBSSports.com. There we go. Did their top 150 players for the upcoming season. There's quite a few Aggie football players on there. I think it's 4. The only problem is the first Aggie football player pops up at 54. And it's not Marcel Reed. I feel like during this offseason, I have had questions, critiques, as much as anyone of Marcel Reed. But I've never sat there and thought that Marcel is a bum. I've never thought Marcel some second tier quarterback. I just think that he needs to get better for A&M to win a national championship. On the Louie Bellina Show, all our conversation points are about winning something, winning championships. Not about making a bowl, not about having a winning record. It's about winning it all. It's about winning those end games. It's about beating top 10 teams. A&M is not a program that's trying to win games. A&M is a program that's trying to win national championships. And I see Marcel Reed at 110 on their list of top 150. I see the other players ranked in front of him. We have, earlier this week, Monday, Tuesday, I forget the day, but earlier this week, that Intel insider from, it was ESPN, with the guy saying that they see Marcel, playing at quarterback. And they want him to. It is insane, or it's being done intentional for click and likes because Aggies see a win. Aggies have never seen a windmill that they won't charge at, right? But the narrative of Marcel has skewered into a wrong place. If you want to say he needs to turn the ball over, yes, correct. If you want to say he needs to be better in big games, yes. But if you want to say he's 110, he's not even one of the top 100 players, that's wrong. That's wrong. I think the number one is he needs to be better down to down. There's too many downs, not due to pressure, not to him even be confused where his inaccuracy. He just kills normal plays. There's like 6 and you're just hidden throughout the game. His accuracy rate would go up if he just hit these plays. Completion percentage. And then he could still turn the ball over here and there. If you want to know what my number one fear, concern, doubt is if it's mental with him, it's not system, it's not comfort, it's just mental. And the big game pressure throws him so out of sync. That's why he looked the way he looked. If that's the truth, none of these changes mean anything. If it's mental, that's a whole different story. But I'm not saying that's what if that's what it is, oh boy. And if it's not, they've done amazing things this offseason to take them to the next level. But the narrative of Marcel, you've got to be like kidding to me, right? Dead serious on this one. 110. And again, I can't read the 109 in front of them to you because then we'd be here at about 4 o'clock this afternoon and Chip would get pissed about that. But it's just kind of gone, and the ESPN insider playing at quarterback. I hope that Elko, maybe Holman Wiggins, and Marcel believe in bulletin board. Because if they do, I don't know if Marcel, he probably has the whole offseason worked the bulletin board, but just this week probably is enough. Now, to the Aggie football players, to the Aggie football players that are on the list and where. Mario Craver, top-ranked Aggie at 54. The University of Texas have 4 players in the top 20 alone, to be clear. 4 in the top 20 alone. Aggies have 4 total, and the highest ranked is 54. Perspective between the two teams, whether you agree, disagree, hate the Longhorns or not. Mario Craver is the highest ranked Aggie in the CBS Sports top 150 players. He comes in at 54. The Longhorns have 4 players in the top 20 alone. Craver pops up at 54. Then we get to Marcel Reed at 110. Again, no. And I look at the list. I have a rep. No, just no. Disagree. This one, didn't see it coming. Love it. Cohen Eccles should be one of the guards, right? 121. And then Isaiah Horton at 143. A&M's wide receiving core has the potential to be one of the best wide receiving cores we've ever seen at A&M this year. But, there's something that's glaring about why putting your stock into your wide receiving core is more problematic than other positions. Because in order for this wide receiving core to unlock its full potential and be one of the greatest wide receiving cores ever, right? For that statement to be true, Marcel his completion rate has to go up. Oh, but the O-line has to click too. The wide receiving core is so dependent on everything else. They can't just be. If you have a running back who's transcendent, sure, he needs an O-line, but we've seen transcendent running backs survive behind average, even below average O-lines. They just truck fools or run past them. But for the wide receiving core to unlock its potential, the O-line, has to be average, and your quarterback has to be pretty good too. You need multiple things. That's one of the tricky, sticky parts. But we know what Craver is when healthy. And with Horton not being the one and his catch radius, Ashton Bethel Roman broke out end of last year. And if the Terry Bussey reports are just 80% true, 75%, how do you cover that wide receiving core? Because you have to leave man on a minimum of 2. They're going to zone. The entire answer is going to be Marcel versus the zone, because that's the way you try and cover them. And then at least 2 of them, you're seriously going to go zone and leave them in space? Let's go. Okay, calm down, dude. No, I'm not going to calm down. College football's here. Don't tell me to calm down. You calm down. Back to this top. So those are the A&M 4. Craver 54, highest ranked. Marcel at 110, which is total garbage. Cohen Eccles 121. Isaiah Horton at 143. And by the way, before you think I'm selling you a Marcel Reed Heisman, no. But in relation to others, in relation to the list as is, that 110 is horrible. And the Intel insider playing at quarterback, he needs to get better. But this is all in relation to winning a natty, because he won 11 games. Marcel's not going to cost you a college football playoff spot. Like, where would you rank Marcel? Like, what do you think? Do you think, oh no, he's so bad, he'll cost you a CFP spot? Because we already know that's not true. Real quick, a glance at the 150, because we're not going to go over all 150. I mentioned 4 Longhorns in the top 20. It all begins, and you know where it all begins, right? They won the Cam Coleman sweepstakes. He's not even the highest ranked. Colin Simmons Edge, one of, if not the best defender in the country, pops up. He's number 6. Then Arch Manning is 9, so there's 2 in the top 10. Cam Coleman is 12, and that's your insurance money for Arch. Oh, and Trevor Goolsby is 14. 4 Longhorns in the top 14. It's not even 20. So right there, 4 in the top 14. Oh, there's more. Longhorns in the top 100 even, but 4 in the top 14. Other names maybe you want to know. We'll call it scouting report for Aggie football 2026. There's Sam Levitt at 42. I think my best scouting report prediction, how to look at Levitt. If he connects to the Kiffin system, because you could talk about his past 2 years, and people forget he was injured, didn't even play all of last year, and they keep using last year. 2 years ago, he led them to the CFP. He was a scary man. But if he connects to the Kiffin system, fear him. He can be a factor. If not, just on his own, like if you were just grading him in a vacuum, he's not much to be scared of. So we need the games to see what he is. Back to names to stand out. A&M scouting report, who they're going to face. There's Quincy Rhodes Jr., edge rusher, Arkansas 44, Ahmad Hardy, Missouri 25, Rasheem Biles, linebacker, Texas at 47, Josh Hoover, Indiana 53. Aggies won't face Indiana, but former TCU player. More names. DJ Pickett, cornerback, LSU 55. Yanze Pierre, edge, Bama 57. Ryan Coleman Williams, wide receiver, Alabama. We listened to him as part of SEC Media Days at 59. Trey Des Green, tight end, LSU at 63. We listened to him. Gunnar Stockton, quarterback, Georgia at 65. Would you rather have Marcel Reed or Gunnar Stockton? And I think 90% of the people would say Gunnar Stockton. So I have a question for you. If you'd rather have Gunnar Stockton, Georgia basically schemes and game plans to minimize Gunnar Stockton as much as possible. They don't want him to make big plays. They're not counting on him to make big plays. They never want to put him in position to make a single play. They want to be 3rd down and 3 so they can hand off the ball. And that's the quarterback you value over a Marcel Reed who can take over the game just with his legs. In the CFP, where the defenses get elite, where every yard is blood and sweat and more blood, you'd rather have Gunnar Stockton than Marcel Reed. Now, the big game thing, can Marcel handle? See? TBD. But remember what Georgia does with Gunnar Stockton. I get it. Do you want the steady? And Marcel Reed has to prove the end games because the end of the past 2 years, he has not come through. Hey, find me the perfect quarterback. Doesn't exist this year. I do think Julian Sayin over at Ohio State might be the closest thing. Okay, back to the 150 Aggie scouting report. They'll see these guys. Ryan Wingo, wide receiver at Texas. In between Coleman and Wingo, Texas has one of the top 3 wide receiving combos. Fair enough. Tennessee offensive tackle, David Sanders Jr. at 69. John Mateer, quarterback, Oklahoma at 74. I come back to this. Would you rather have Marcel or Mateer? Marcel. Eric Singleton, wide receiver, Florida, 78. Oh, I love this guy. Wide receiver, Oklahoma, Satania III at 81. He's someone who suffered from his quarterback. If you put him on one of those teams with a top-tier quarterback, you would talk about Satania probably like you do Coleman. Deshaun Bishop, running back, Tennessee at 85. We listened to him from SEC Media Days. Michael Facia, offensive tackle, OU, 89. Scouting report. Lenore Sellers, quarterback, South Carolina at 94. Would you rather have Lenore Sellers or Marcel Reed? There is no data, statistic, anything that would support Lenore Sellers over Marcel Reed. But you got Lenore at 94 and Marcel at 110. Please make it make sense. Sorry, you can't. 99, Raleek Brown, running back, Texas. Number 10, Braylon Staley, wide receiver, Tennessee. Scouting report. Aggies will see these people. 105, Whit Weeks, running back, LSU, is in his 20th season. He's at 108. 112, Ty Bryant, safety, Kentucky. We listened to him, SEC Media Days. 119, Owen Henneke, linebacker, OU. 122, Princewell Umanalinian. Yeah, I said that right. Yeah. Edge, LSU. 123, Eli Bowen. Okay, I'm going to stop. There's not many left, but you get the point. A&M schedule, upcoming schedule, talent on it. That's SEC, man. 123, Florida. 133, Arizona State. That will always be true. SEC schedule. Oh, 136. Wiggity, wiggity, whack. Connor Wigman, quarterback, Houston. 144, Alabama. Life in the SEC always. Up next, when we come back, let us hear from Marcel Reed. Him and Saka met with the media yesterday. We will hear both throughout our day together here on the Louie Bellina Show. We do fall camp in their words. The Louie Bellina Show Thursday, presented by CC Electric, built on faith, family, and community. The Louie Bellina Show on the Zone, 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
The Louie Bellina Show. Dial 979-693-1150. Hello. To visit with him. Hello. Or to win. Hello. On the D4 Land Services Hotline. Dial 979-693-1150.
The Louie Bellina Show on a Thursday. The Louie Bellina Show inside the Charles Schwab studio. Low cost, full service, best of all local. Charles Schwab. Whoa. Charles Schwab, you're thinking New York, LA, maybe Chicago. And I said local? Mark Sim. Who? Mark Sim. He's right here in College Station. He's our local, right here in College Station, Charles Schwab agent. Don't believe me? Come on, man. Why do you do me like that? Don't believe me? Go online. Schwab.com/College Station. Go get more info. Go find out for yourself. Go get answers to your questions. Schwab.com/College Station. Time now. A listen in. We do fall camp, Aggie football in their words. The players, coordinators, of course, Coach Elko. Well, yesterday, Marcel Reed met with the media.
How much do you feel like you've grown having Joey as just a specific quarterback coach, not having necessarily maybe someone who's offensive coordinator and quarterback coach, but like a dedicated position coach?
Yeah, I've grown a lot. He's been able to, help my stuff mechanically and, just help whether it's, a deep out route or a short out route, just getting my feet matched up with concepts and stuff like that. We've had a lot of time in the film room together just watching stuff, going over protections and understanding what different people are going to do and game planning for other teams. So it's been amazing.
Is the difference availability just that you might have more time to be in the film room with him and stuff like that?
Yeah, obviously he's a quarterback coach only, so I have a lot more time with him. He still has to be in, obvious staff meetings with the offense, but he has a lot more time to just be with me and, just watch over the film and help me understand the game a little bit better.
How would you evaluate just kind of your first week of camp and just kind of things you feel like you've done well and things y'all are still trying to fine-tune within your game?
Yeah, well, one thing, I think I've not turned the ball over, so I think I've done a really good job at that. I think I've done a really good job at just, game managing, making sure that everybody's on the same page, that we get plays off and that we're all doing the same thing and know what our assignments are. Just making sure that the energy's up every single day. It's hot out here. Sometimes we come out in the middle of the day in practice, but we're going to be out here in the heat on these 2:30 games, especially when we play Arizona State coming in. We're going to have some heat. So just getting everybody's mind focused on that and making sure that we're practicing through it, pushing through it, keeping everybody uplifted while we're out here is the most important thing.
When you say no turnovers, that mean like no interceptions during team periods?
Yes, 100%. No interceptions. Trying to manage, exchanges with the running backs. We have a lot of different calls and where we change putting the running backs in Reno or having them right next to me, or just different things where we do run schemes where we have to do different footworks and have the ball in different areas. So things like that, making sure the ball stays off the ground because that's one of our biggest goals.
Marcel, let me follow up on that. How much has the game slowed down for you to where you can't play sped up by choice?
Yeah, the game slowed down a lot, and like I said, just managing the game, making sure that everybody's set, that we get to the ball quick, so I still have time on the clock, game clock. To manage it is, the most important thing. I think being in the film room with Coach Lynch a lot has helped, just making sure that I understand what I'm doing, pre-snap checklists and everything like that is also really important. So, yeah, everything's slowed down. Obviously, it's my third year playing the game, and, I kind of understand the ball now.
It doesn't feel different?
It feels a lot different. I think that I can process things a lot quicker pre-snap, and it makes post-snap even easier.
Are there any significant differences in what Holman is asking you to do as opposed to what Coach Klein was asking you to do last year?
Yeah, there aren't too many differences, but Coach Wiggins has kind of expanded it a little bit. Obviously, I've said this before, but he was at Bama and he was, one of kind of their pass game coordinators a little bit while he was over there. So just having all those guys and kind of translating those guys to what the guys that we have now, we can do a lot of different things. We can move the pocket. we can reset our throwing lanes and stuff like that. So I don't know if you guys seen it, but just, the play action fakes and kind of half rollouts, getting the set up in a different gap, making sure that we move the pocket so, really good edge rushers can't get to us as quick as they can. Things like that to give us time and see routes develop is things that he's done.
Marcel, between now and game one, where do you want to grow the most, or where do you think you need to grow the most?
I think just being a leader. You can always grow being a leader and making sure that the team respects you and understands that your voice, carries, and to make sure that I represent the captain's badge as much as possible. I think that's one of the biggest things that I'm still trying to take another step on until we get to this first game, because they're going to need me throughout this entire season. You got it.
And being here 22, 24, 25, what do you think is so unique about this year's fall camp?
I think what's unique is all the guys that on this team. We have a lot of veterans on this team that kind of have grown up since the Jimbo era. So we all know how this thing goes, and we've been with Elko for 3 years now and understand how he operates. And so just trying to get everybody to operate the same way, move at the same pace, and go 110% every single day is our main goal. But yeah, I think just having this squad that came in at 2023, especially my class, it's amazing to have the retention that we've had so far, and we have a bunch of leaders on the team.
Holman talking specifically sort of about his growing comfortability. Have you seen that from him too in his new role? He's getting more confident, more comfortable as the AMC.
Yeah, 100%. And I think his confidence comes from us. Whenever we can do things right and understand what he's trying to get us to do, it makes him be more aggressive in the play calls. So we've tried our best to execute to our best ability, and just give him that freeness of calling whatever he wants.
Somebody that's really stood out is Terry Bussey.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree with that assessment, or what does he look like, and maybe what can he unlock in this offense if he continues to grow it?
Yeah, 100%. Terry has definitely grown a lot, and you can see it in the spring before he got hurt. He's taken a big step. I think what was holding him back was he kind of came in. They were playing him both ways when he first got here, obviously, and he was still a little banged up. He had like that little knee problem or whatever, and he still had it when he was playing that bowl game against USC or whatever. But now, dude's healthy. He's stronger. He's faster. He's moving great. He's attacking the ball, running routes, getting open. So he's a great guy for us. We can move around anywhere. We can put him in the backfield. We can put him at X. We can put him at Z. But he's kind of like just that all-around guy for us, and he's really showed out this summer.
It looks like he's put on some weight. Did you see a concerted effort to maybe make that a focus of his offseason from him?
I didn't watch him eat or anything, but I've seen him in the weight room. We work out together. So just credit to Moffitt and what he does and the strength staff around us. We do a lot of heavy lifting and a lot of explosive stuff. So yeah, you've definitely seen the transition, and everybody's become more explosive. Our numbers and speed have changed, and we've seen the explosiveness jump for sure.
I'm curious to ask about what you've seen from the new tight ends that have come in, because you had some big plays with tight ends.
Richie, Houston, those guys have been really good for us. They're all aggressive. Houston's a big guy. He can run. He's smooth. Got some really good hands. Richie's quick, shifty. He's a little bigger, but he can surprise you. But he has some really good hands, and I think we got some really good guys who kind of understand the game. They've played for a while, so they know what they're doing, and they both got honors for preseason Mackey. So.
Curtis, with this receiver group, just what would you say is the best quality, and just with all the different skill sets they have, how easier does that make it for you when it's kind of a diverse group?
I think the best quality about this receiver group is we're so versatile. We have so many that can play at so many different positions, and you can move them around. We can go tempo and keep one guy on this side of the field and another guy on this side of the field and change the formation and don't have to switch them. We can do things like that and just kind of throw teams off guard. We can, change our alignments, our splits, and all types of stuff just to get different bodies open. So, yeah.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a good last one.
That was Marcel Reed, our listen-in Aggie football fall camp, in their words. At 12:35, Anto Saka also met with the media. We will listen in at 12:35. Up next, when we return, we'll wrap up our first hour together. It is the Louie Bellina Show. This is the Louie Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric. On the Zone? Yeah, the Zone.
Spend your summer with the Zone.
Summer. Yeah.
The Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM, where football has no off season.